So hi, I'm Nivedita Indrajit, and today we are talking about branding your business. So I have a small presentation. Can you see it? So a lot of people think that it's okay to start off with my name or it's a hobby and things like that. Somehow, sometimes it's good to brand your business. As in, when people see you, just like they recognize your face, when you brand your business, when they recognize your product, they know it's yours. So there are like a few points how you can actually look at it. My background is that I've done human resources, organization development. I've done marketing and branding. I've been a therapist, an artist. I think I've put my fingers into a lot of stuff like writing, digital design, virtual assistants, and stuff like that. So this video series is a part of that. So what is branding and why is it really relevant? Anybody recognize these logos? So when you see a fan, huh?
Amul,
Yeah,
Air India, I guess.
yeah.
First one, I don't know.
That's Phantom, the comics. So,
Yeah.
so like when you look at Phantom and Devil, you have an image of that person. You know what that person is capable of. Like Phantom is the ghost who walks. He has a skull and a crossbar ring. To his friends, he'll give the crossbar ring, and to his enemies, he gives a skull mark on the cheek. And Amul has branded itself in a very cute way, actually. You know, it's not just the girl. There are a lot of banners that come with political campaigns or latest happenings as big banners, and they say that with a joke. They don't necessarily sell the bread and butter on that big banner. They just sell the latest thing as a comic strip. So now when Amul is actually doing that, they know it's Amul. People who see this know that it's an Amul brand doing this one big banner as a one-page cartoon, but still people look forward to those ads. Reason being, they are not trying to sell their product, they're trying to engage with the audience there. And if you look at the Air India, it just talks about how it started off and there's an Indian origin to the airplane. So when you're looking at why branding, you're looking at a visual representation of what you're capable of being, what you're capable of giving or action, and what is the blueprint of your whole organization about? What is your service? What is your origin? What is your image or what is your persona? And so that's why it's relevant. So I again talk about the logo that I have in the left corner of the presentation, which is Taurus Source. It represents me. I'm a Taurian and I am in alignment with the universe or the source. So the sun, the moon, the earth, and the space are represented in that circle. So that is the brand that I'm talking about. I'm talking about communion. I'm talking about engagement. I'm talking about oneness with everything and everyone and being a contribution. So whatever your brand is, are you really doing that? Are you evolving? It also represents a Taurian bull, which is very headstrong and determined to go forward, doesn't take no for an answer. At the same time, also has the perseverance of the Nandi of the Shiva, which is like just waiting. There is no point of view about it. So that's what that represents. So when you look at these two images, what do you get? What is generic and what is branding, and what happens when generic becomes a brand? Today, yeah, go
Generic.
ahead.
What is generic?
Generic means Google is actually an internet search engine.
Yeah.
Internet Explorer is also in Chrome is also an internet search engine. That is the generic name. That is its generic capacity or whatever it is. But we make that a brand. Like we say, let's Google it. What you're actually meaning is, let me go on internet and search engine and find out more. But Google has, from a generic, it's become such a brand that now that brand is being used like a generic term.
Okay.
If you're looking at Band-Aid, we call everything a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Okay.
But only Johnson & Johnson's product is Band-Aid.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's called an adhesive tape.
Really? I didn't know it.
A Band-Aid. So even Xerox is a company.
Yeah.
Probably the first pioneers of a photocopier machine.
So printout is.
It is not Xerox. Get a Xerox.
Okay.
It's not a Xerox. It's a photocopy.
I see.
They've branded. So they have in so much oneness with the generic name that you now don't know the difference between what is a Xerox and what is a photocopier.
Also,
that
like
of a brand.
Yeah.
That
So
is the,
all toothpaste Colgate, like mostly. So same way,
yeah,
right?
and Colgate is still a brand. They don't talk about it as a toothpaste.
Many people they ask like bring Colgate, like for any paste. Yeah.
Okay, I think then it will be joining the. There are 50 such brands which are used. The list, I mean, there is a link below, impactbnd.com. It gives you the list of 50 everyday words that are actually brands and trademarks. These are actually trademarked brands. It belongs to one particular company. It is not generic. The reason I'm pointing this out is when people who start that product own the product with their beingness so much that they fully utilize that potency of what it can do and go into the world with that presence, a brand can become very generic and a generic can become a brand, and there is no difference between the two. So when you ask a question earlier, why would we require a brand? But at the same time, if you look at these examples, you don't know the difference between the brand and the generic terminology. So what are we actually aiming for is, we are aiming for becoming this particular space eventually. This is when you are in communion with whatever you're doing. That is my point of view. Any questions so far? Okay. So when you're looking at branding your business, you're looking at 5 pointers here: the purpose, the position, the promise, the personality, and identity. So what is the purpose of having your brand? To recognize who you be, to have that sense of belonging. Let's say today you're one person handling your business, but tomorrow you might hire 10 people. Now, will these 10 people connect to your mission statement or your vision for the world? Can they connect with what you want to contribute? So when people can connect to what you can contribute, they don't mind wearing that brand on themselves, reflecting that everybody's working as a one team. So it is no longer 10 people with 10 different names. You're all working as a team to go and contribute as the same name. So that is what a brand does. I will tell you a little story here. This is a story I heard in one of the conferences 10 years ago. So you know Tata, right?
Yeah.
So there were these Mumbai floods. And Tata was receiving one of his clients from the East Asian countries. And the driver of Tata went to pick him up. So when he went to pick him up, it started raining and it was terrible, and they got stuck in traffic and it was getting late. And it was almost lunchtime. So this guy, the driver, he tells this guest to stay in the car and not to move out. And he goes in the rain, brings his wife with some food, serves this guest food, then asks the wife to go, and he figures out a way to take him to Tata's office. So on reaching to the destination, the guest goes up the stairs and then he turns back and he asks the driver, "You're just a driver. Your job is to take me from point A to point B, which is bringing me from the airport to Tata's office. Why did you go into the trouble of doing whatever you're doing?" So he says, "Until you meet Tata, I am Tata." So we're talking about a sense
That's
of
amazing.
belonging. Yeah.
I worked with the Tata Group for 10 years, and that is very, very true.
Yeah. Thank you for confirming. So when you have a sense of belonging, you will do whatever it takes. So when you as a brand represent that integrity, represent that culture, represent that space, people who work with you as a team will act from that space of difference. At the same time, they step up. They recognize what you be.
Yes,
So
because
it represents
people like they sometimes they do have that sense of competition. They not all are from the space of contribution, you know. Even
correct.
they be here and halfway there. This reality and that reality.
Correct. That's true. So when I'm talking about this, it is about how you represent your brand now. There is a lot happening.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There is a lot happening.
Yeah.
This is the essence of the purpose of branding your business. See, most people don't understand it. They think it's just a logo, it's just the colors, it should be fancy, or it should have some other meaning, and I should make it popular. And there is a lot of push energy there.
Yeah, not a purpose, not a beingness, the who you are. That
Yeah,
is
if there is also a separation from who you are to who you have to be possible. Where I am coming from, I'm asking if if the brand of your business can be, recognize what you be, create and have that sense of belonging, which means being and body and embodiment, if I have to translate into a different language.
Yeah.
And be that irrespective of whether anybody is being that or not.
Yes. Totally.
Now that is true leadership.
Yeah.
When you are in true leadership, you don't really expect followers, but people are inspired to become you.
Yes, yes.
So what would it take to be that? Now, there's an interesting point of view in the corporate scenario. It's a lot commonly used phrase that people join because of a brand and leave because of people.
Yeah.
Now, the point here is the brand, when you're putting it out there, you are talking about a certain deliverables. We're talking about that this is what we are. The reason people leave again because of people is because everybody there may not be truly representing that brand as it is.
Yes.
So, which is why people join because of the brand, because they really connect to that and they are that. And then when they cannot be that, that's when they leave. Which means in the 5 categories, purpose, position, promise, personality, and identity, the promise is valuable here. Coming to the second point, position. We'll talk about the top 10 companies or top 1, or you have this number game. But what is the position that you're looking at? what does a position mean? And if you're at that position, what should it actually mean? See, there could be a lot of surveys that are done. There's a lot of gimmick that can happen or false information that can happen. Okay, let's keep all that on one side. What a client or a customer can achieve while choosing your brand of business is something that you can be aware of. The more you're aware of what your client or customer can achieve by choosing you, because that is what you can deliver, the more people that choose you, the more share you have in the space, the more contribution you can be. So here, being interested in the value the client is looking for versus, oh, these are the things that I can do. I can do 100 things. Doesn't mean I do a business with all the 100 things and say, okay, I will have to sell this. That's not the point here. The point is, okay, I'm capable of all this. Now, what are people asking for that I can first focus on? And position yourself in that space. So that now that you say, I am this brand and I'm positioning myself that I offer this, then people will know the information that you are able to deliver that. How do you convey that you are an expert in that area? Well, again, it goes back to the trust factor. It goes back to the purpose. So here the interesting point of view is, what is the confidence that you have? What is the expertise that you have? Is what you're saying as a sales pitch, is it converted or translated to a deliverable experience? Or are you saying something and doing something else? Now, when you go to a 5-star hotel for a meal and they deliver and they really take care of you, what do you feel like doing? You feel like going back over and over again. It is not that they're trying to do that to get you back, maybe, but their innate thing is that they would like to serve you. So the focus is on the service and the focus is on the deliverable and the focus is on, can we just deliver what they would like to receive, exactly how much they are looking for, and maybe a little surprising, maybe a little more delightful. So that's coming back to the value of making a promise. So what's a promise? A promise is delivering an experience. It's saying, oh, I promise to give you a cup of ice cream. Means I promise to give you a cup of ice cream, not an ice cream with a rasgulla or a rasgulla which is frozen, right? A promise is understanding the needs of the other person and delivering exactly what they are imagining in their world that they would like. So what this whole thing is talking about is your credibility in the whole thing. Are you, so if I ask you for something, will you deliver exactly the same thing? Is that your credibility? Or do I waver because, oh no, I don't know for sure if they will deliver that or not? And it has to be simple. If it is too complex, you end up trying to communicate much more than deliver. And the difference you be, and is it a memory? Is it a good memory or is it a bad memory? Is it inspiring or not? Ultimately, a promise is something that you do it over and over and over again, like as if you know. It's a muscle. It's a rhythm. It happens every time. Like if I have to give the example of the Mumbai Dabbawala, your dabba will be delivered from home to your office, whatever the timelines, and there will not be a mix-up. The error is 0.00001 something. It's 1 in a million probably, and not even that much, which is why they are one of the case studies for perfect process. A process is like a wavelength. The wave, once it takes off, it continues in its rhythm. You know exactly where it's going to be at what time. Now the personality. There are 5 dimensions of this. Like, what is your competence? What are you into the competence part of it? Are you sincere? Are you excited? Are you sophisticated? Are you tough? Maybe there are others. But this is about the story. Now, if you look at the brand of Nike, Nike talks about sports shoes. And it's not about thinking, oh, I'll do it, or oh, I'll try, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. It's just like, just do it. It's like, take a leap. No procrastination. Action. They talk about action. They don't talk about reaction. So when somebody is wearing a Nike, you represent them because they connect to the just do it. So when you see people and when you see the brands that they are wearing, you can kind of get the kind of personality they are or the persona they are. You can understand their dimensions to an extent and what they represent with all this. So does your business, let's say you're taking it with your name or doing it with the name of a company like Nike is doing it, are we representing the entire purpose of what we are? Is there excitement in it? Is there sincerity in it? Do you find a competence in it? What is your story and where are you going with it? Are you an action person or are you just a storytelling person? It could be done with therapy also. Like, there are a lot of consultants. You know that these are the kind of consultants or these are the kind of facilitators, these are the kind of teachers you would like to be with. Even in school, if you've gone, you like your math teacher more or your English teacher more or your history teacher more. There is a reason why, because you're choosing what they represent. So while branding your business, you need to look at, like if you're looking at the colors of the logo or what colors do you represent? What do the colors mean to you? What's your visibility? What is the typography that you're using? Which means there is a story where there's a TED talk actually. I forget the name of the person. So she says fonts do matter. She can make you go hungry by writing burger in a certain font and make you not hungry with another font. So everything is about an image, a persona, and how much we can recall something. So when you're branding, consider all these, like the color, the visibility. Is it something that you'll really remember? Like if you look at Nike, it's just a tick mark. Everything is check, 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 check. When you go on a checklist, you just do it. So any questions? Any questions?
No, not right now.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with this Dabbawala. How do they do that? I mean, it's amazing.
They have color coding actually.
Oh,
It's a case study. If you go to the Dabbawala case study, you will actually find they don't have an error. Like they are measured by the Six Sigma or the Lean
Yeah.
Sigma. Lean Sigma is the 12 Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
So in that also, in millions of orders that they do in millions of days, hardly there's one error. And that's very, 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 that's the highest process perfection that they have. They were actually called abroad for representing their firm's process and how it is done. And they explained their color coding system.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about your company, your brand, or what do you talk about and why we are discussing this?
I am planning my logo. So what questions I can ask?
Uh, who's Sherry or who's speaking?
Namrata.
Can you,
So, like, what question did you ask before having your logo?
see, what do you like? Like, what are the items that you like? Say, for example, what do you represent? What do you like the most?
I'll tell you, I was like asking questions and playing with elementals, and I asked
Right.
consciousness. So this is just came like this brand. Like first it was a big name, and
Uh-huh.
then name just it is separate entity, and it just got created. So name is Global Thrive because I really wish to have that thriving energy, which
How do you spell that?
global GLOBAL
Okay.
and thrive THRIVE. So thrive,
Oh,
thrive.
okay. Global Thrive. Okay.
Yeah. So it just came up.
Okay.
So and then I got some like background which is a beautiful earth, and so I was just thinking about the logo. So like what
So,
question?
there are several ways I would go around it. Like if like when I was working with my logo, I was like, okay, what are the services that I'm offering? What is the purpose that I'm looking at? Like I'd like to make a difference in at least 1 million lives.
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't have to be, for example, if I have to take that as an example,
yeah, yeah.
I would like to. Now, I feel that as a person, individual who has not had a background of something, I don't know how I'm going to do that. It is like a beyond, or it's too much. So then I said,
And
okay, what can I add to it that will make me feel like, oh, I have someone. So that's when I added source.
awesome. Mhm.
So what is that? Like when you're talking about global thrive, right? You are looking at people thriving, not surviving. If I got it right.
Yes.
So when you're looking at thriving, what is it that you do to thrive?
It's energy which I be, and like that white different energy.
Yeah. Do you find it easy or do you find it difficult to be that energy?
That is actually easy. That
Right. Now, can you translate that aspect of what you feel easy doing what all
is
as I wouldn't say the words of it. What makes you thrive? What are the few things? Let's say take 5 things that make you thrive, and you are like being that energy. What do you actually doing that point of time?
so when I'm doing what I love, when I'm just laughing and being joyful and having being with my purpose, doing what
Correct.
I am
Now,
here.
now, can you imagine 1 million people doing that along with you?
Yes, that's amazing.
Now, can you imagine 1 million people not doing that and doing the opposite of it along with you?
Yeah, now yes.
So, can you get the energy of that and this? For people who do not want to do that, but would like that,
Yeah.
how can you actually translate? What is it that you can actually tell to translate? Like, for example, if I want to be happy all the time, I see you be happy all the time,
Yeah.
but I don't choose it, for example. I just want it, but I don't choose it. There are people who choose it and come to you, but there are people who want it but cannot choose it or will not choose it and are running in the opposite direction. But these are people you can help actually. And they are there to receive from you, but they don't know how.
Okay.
Now, what would you actually, and see, there is an energy that you can convey, and there is words that match the energy you can convey.
Words and even I think images also.
Exactly. Now, pull up all these things and see which resonates. Ask the business what it would like to have.
Yeah.
After, it's like, you do this, okay, if I, there is something called corrective therapy technique, which we do in hypnotherapy.
Yeah. Mhm.
So what they do is they'll ask you to write a sentence. I am fat, for example.
Okay.
What is the word beneath I? If I say I, what will it bring up for you? You write that down next.
I didn't get you. Like, can you
See, for
explain?
example, if you take a sentence, I am fat.
Okay.
There is a word I, there's a word am, there's a word fat.
Okay.
Now, what will I, if I say another word for I, rapid fire, what will you say?
Mm, Me.
What is the other word for whatever you said? Like that, if you keep asking 6 to 12 times, you will
Okay.
go deep into that after filtering out what you have picked up from the world.
Oh, nice one. Thank you.
So you will come up with a lot of names, lot of images, lot of stuff. But if you decide, okay, I'm going to at least do 100 images beneath,
Okay.
or 100 or 200 or whatever, until you get the energy of a ding, like you'll know it when you get it. Until then, you keep searching, searching, searching without buying into anything that you're taking up right now.
Yeah. So then I'll connect to what is true for me or true essence.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have suggested this method.
What is it called? Corrective?
No, in hypnotherapy, we use this to, uh, it's called corrective therapy. We
Okay.
use this exercise as a tool to find out.
And then at the end, if we ask, like, is it true for me? Truth.
Yeah,
Is,
yeah, is it true for me? No, that is it true for me is still too, what do you call? It's not simple. It's still a language you're using which you picked up recently or however long you have back.
like we go to the core of true energy, like.
Yeah, when I'm saying use the tool, even if you're saying is it true for me, are you saying the tool? Are you being the tool?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are being the tool, okay. But if you're just saying it and then trying to get an answer or trying to figure it out, you're still not being it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I
So
say, and I'm like, really thank you. It there is a difference. So yeah, definitely.
yeah. So if you're able to actually go deep, 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 and if you have not, like if you don't consider it at all, what you would consider for the first time or second time or third time, and just go deep and just keep it aside and go approach it the next day after putting everything on a wall or a paper, and first thing that comes to you, play with it for a couple of days or 7 days and then leave a 3 day gap and then come back to it. Spend some time. Don't be in a hurry to rush into it. Don't be in a hurry to finalize something.
Yeah. Yeah. I am doing
Because,
that. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because if you do, you will not get the true essence of who you can be, what's your purpose. If you
Okay.
don't spend enough time planning, execution will be an issue.
Yes. Yeah. And what if we are creating for, something greater? Like we say, like mostly females, we are creating for the greater future. So
Yeah,
if
we
it is,
always do. I
yeah,
mean, we always do something better. We are not stupid enough to do something worse than what you have done before.
yeah,
We'll always grow, but we don't acknowledge that.
yeah,
So it's the same with you as a person, you as a brand. There shouldn't be any difference. It's not me and my company. You are the same. You, your company, everything is the same. It's just that when everybody think alike from a company perspective, everybody's thinking alike to do. It's like a combined force to go together. It's
yeah,
not like person A, person B, person C are now coming together to do something and they still have a different ideology.
yeah. I get it.
So I would recommend spend some time. If you require any conversations after that, I can definitely help you. If not, there are several. It's not about designing it. It's not about coming out and saying this is what it is. It's not the uh, practical aspects of it. It's the essence and the energy of it that you need to get certain about.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So I had one question, but I forgot. Okay. So what? Let me recollect. I
Huh?
had. I had one question, but I forgot.
Was it answered?
Maybe. Okay. What question we can ask to have those people who really wish to be with that purpose which our company has? Like, uh,
The people will come after you get clear about what you really want to do. That will happen so instantaneously.
but Nivedita, like, there is a clarity also, and there is a space which is very unknown. It is undefinable. You can just feel the energy, and then in that space, something anything get created. So
Yeah. So
clarity now, like, but I'm giving time for that. I think it's a
if you are certain about what you are delivering,
okay.
like if you're talking, like when we talked about what is your purpose, how are you looking to position it, how are you looking to deliver it, what is it that you are doing, the people who has to assist you will come, the people who have to receive from you will come. But what happens is when we are not sure about what we are delivering and we keep changing our mind, even the people concerning that will keep changing. The universe is very quick.
Yeah. So
Let's say you're looking at ABC right now and saying, oh, this is what I want to do. 2 days later, you'll say, oh, DEF is also good. Now the universe has to now not only pick ABC for you, but DEF for you, and maybe a combination. The people who have come for ABC may drop, and some new person might come who will do all the three, or all the six, or a different combination. But we make it a wrongness. We make it like, oh, I am failing at this. I'm not able to get people. We get into that.
this business and this thing is, it's like entity, like a baby. It has its own consciousness, so I'm letting it flow.
Not just that, even the people who join you have a say in it.
Okay, I got it.
Everybody as a team has something to say in it.
Yeah.
But if we don't include that, I'm talking about not just you as a person, your brand, your team, and the clients. You have to include all of that.
Yes, yeah. So I can ask question to have clarity about it, and then
Yes. But the practical things would be to take a paper and pen and write down whatever is coming to you. Write down without stopping. At least 100 or 200.
I'm writing it since whenever I'm getting, I just write it.
There is a tool called Morning Pages also, which gives clarity.
I'm
Morning
using
Pages,
that right now.
Huh?
I'm using that right now. It's by Julia Cameron. It's amazing. Right. It's seriously amazing. I've just started it over the last 3 days.
Yeah, so you will get more clarity after 8 weeks, actually.
8 weeks.
You continuously do it for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
8th week, if you go back and check what you wrote on day 1, you will not connect with that at all.
I love it. The first 3 days I did a bit of resistance to it, but now, I won't get out of bed unless I have done it. It just feels just like the whole day has so much of purpose in it.
Yeah.
Where I can get that? What she has said. Something about the writing, Sherry shared.
I can't hear you.
She's asking where can you get this Morning Pages. It's called The Artist's Way
by Julia Cameron.
You can get it online in Amazon.
The book?
Yeah. So who's asking? Namrata or?
Namrata's asking. Has it. Namrata is asking.
Yeah.
Maybe the book kind of a diary.
Yeah, it is a book which has 12-week program.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.